Hey guys, have you heard of the Bernard-Bernstein comet, aka the Mega Comet? Or in astro speak, it's C/2014 UN27? Well, apparently it's the largest comet ever detected by mankind.
No
and it's headed
way!
our way. Should you be worried? Let's find out. Hello to our viewers around the world and welcome to the MontegoBoyz. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button, like these videos, and hit the bell notification so you get the latest scoop on all the wonderful things that are happening in the world of entertainment. Let's go. I know what you're thinking. The Bernard-Bernstein comet? Strange name for a comet, wouldn't you say? This comet was apparently named after Dr. Pedro Bernardinelli and Dr. Gary Bernstein, a couple of scientists who happened to come across this unusually shaped anomaly by mistake. In fact, both Dr. Bernardinelli and Dr. Bernstein were actually studying and researching trans-Neptunian objects, which actually have nothing to do with the infamous Mega Comet. Now, if you're wondering what the heck is a trans-Neptunian object, well, you're pretty much at the right place because I'm going to tell you all about it. So you can share this wonderful knowledge when you're out with your friends or at the water cooler at work, right? A trans-Neptunian object can be a small planetary object, kind of like a dwarf planet in the solar system, but it actually orbits the sun at a greater distance than Neptune. Huh? Okay. Well, if I'm getting you confused, it's okay because think of trans-Neptunian objects kind of like hunks of rock that circle the sun but remain beyond the orbit of the planet Neptune. So, for example, a dwarf planet, right? Let's look at Pluto, planet Pluto. Planet Pluto, to date, is the largest trans-Neptunian object known to mankind, and planet Pluto happens to be a dwarf planet. So many researchers actually believe there to be about 70,000 trans-Neptunian objects in existence with the potential of much, much more, of course. Now, as I mentioned before, this comet kind of came at a big surprise because when both Dr. Bernardinelli and Dr. Bernstein were actually scouring through the data that was collected from their 570 megapixel dark energy camera between 2013 and 2019, they actually found a very strange anomaly that kind of stuck out. Now, all the data, as I mentioned, came from this very powerful camera, the dark energy camera, which we'll get into here in a little bit, but that was actually located on the Victor M. Blanco telescope, which is a 4-meter, 13-foot telescope at the Cerro Tololo Inter-American Observatory in northern Chile. This telescope is massive. I mean, it weighs nearly 34,000 pounds. I mean, that's the size of 4 full-grown African elephants, or about 17 tons if you want to get technical. Now, originally this telescope was designed in 1969. And as I mentioned, it's a dark energy camera that's depicted in the black paint pointing out of the retracted dome slit. The camera was actually originally designed by the Dark Energy Survey collaboration in 2003, and you can actually see the immense size of this telescope as it measures up against the really tiny little size of a human depicted there in the red circle. Now, when this telescope was originally constructed, it was the 3rd largest telescope in the world. And in honor, they named it after Victor Blanco, who used to be a Puerto Rican astronomer. Now, the researchers were really puzzled, right? Because after going through all this data, it was unlike anything they really studied. And as I mentioned, that this anomaly kind of stuck out. And at first, they thought it was very weird, very strange, and they were trying to dismiss it for just some weird random object. But as they started to look at it a little bit more closely, it started to look kind of like a comet. But see, it wasn't really like a comet because typically comets come with like a tail. This didn't have a tail. This resembled something more like a dwarf planet, right? Kind of like a trans-Neptunian object. But the only difference was this anomaly was huge.
So huge?
So just how enormous is this comet? Well, there's a reason why they call it the Mega Comet, because of its sheer gargantuan size, which spans over 100 miles of icy rock. This comet is 1,000 times more massive than your average typical comet. So where is this comet now? Well, the research indicates that the comet is about as far away as the planet Uranus, about 1.8 billion miles, which is about 3 billion kilometers away from our planet Earth. Okay, so if you do the math, the distance between the Earth and the Sun is approximately 93 million miles, which is also equivalent to 1 astronomical unit, AU. The last time this comet, the Mega Comet, right, was actually in our solar system was about 3.5 million years ago. So at that time, the comet was actually 18 astronomical units away from the sun. That's 18 times 93 million miles, which works out to be approximately 1.67 billion miles away. Now, it was also researched that the comet originally traveled as far as 40,000 astronomical units. It's 40,000 times 93 million miles. You do the math on that one. Just imagine where this comet has traveled and where it has been. If it could only speak, what would it say? What would it have seen? One can only wonder. If you only had a camera on this beautiful object, I mean, just imagine all the things that would kind of come to light for us. Now, as I mentioned, this comet is barreling towards us, and scientists predict that within 10 years, by the year 2031, this comet will actually be within 11 astronomical units from the sun. That's a little over 1 billion miles away. Now, this comet continues to fascinate people around the world, and that's what's great, is that this comet will actually allow scientists to properly study and understand it, unlike most other comets where they find out usually at the tail end, right, of it coming into existence, and only for it to stay a short while and then of course gone and disappear into oblivion and never to be seen again. But this time scientists are going to be able to properly research and study this huge anomaly, and it's going to be interesting to we'll continue to learn more about this new comet and its origins, and only time will tell what other mysteries our researchers will be able to find out about this amazing mega comet and where it came from. So that's it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Much appreciated. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and turning on your notifications. And in the meantime and in between time, that's a wrap. Until next time.